Hey there y'all, it's Megan. If you're returning to my channel, welcome back, and if you're new, welcome aboard. Today is more cast member story kind of stuff, but today is not about any guests or anything like that. Today is just about stuff that if you are going to in the future be a skipper, or if you've been a skipper in the past, maybe you can attest to some of this. I'm going to talk about some of the stuff that's kind of gross about being a Jungle Cruise skipper. So this is stuff that is pretty specific to Jungle Cruise, and it honestly could probably be specific just to me, because maybe someone out there doesn't think that these things are gross. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I'm gonna talk about three. It's really the only three things that this hair is really just, can we not? I'm gonna talk about three things, and it's kind of gonna go from least bad to worst. So the least terrible gross thing about working at the Jungle Cruise is it's different from a lot of attractions in that you actually have to have physical contact with some guests. At the unload and load positions, you stand in the doorway and you have your hands out, and people will take your hands, and that's fine. Obviously that's literally your entire purpose, is to help people into and out of the boats, so that's what you're there for. But sometimes people's hands are questionable with their cleanliness. I feel like Tantor, when he's like, "Are you sure this water's sanitary?" It's questionable to me, because, you know, maybe people think that they are clean and whatever, but there's a lot of sticky hands, people eating their ice creams and it's getting on the hands, and then they touch you, or little children like to, when you're standing inside the boat, you have your hands like this, little children like to grab a little thigh there, and then you have little sticky Mickey bar prints on your thighs. That's cute. So yeah, just like physical contact with people. Like I said, that's probably a me thing because we know how I am, and maybe other people are not quite as paranoid about germs and other people touching them, so that wouldn't be a problem for them. But for me, that was a little bit nasty, just having people touching all up on you all the time, and you know, you can't go wash your hands after people, you know, you load the boat and then you load the next boat. You know, you're not running back and forth washing your hands. There's no hand sanitizer like over to the side. So just something to keep in mind, that if you are a germ conscious person like myself and you are working at the Jungle Cruise or going to work at the Jungle Cruise, that's something to keep in mind, because not all attractions do have physical contact with guests and their little sticky fingers. The next one is also probably just me thinking it's gross, but at the Jungle Cruise, the costume is, I've mentioned before, it's the lovely potato sack made of that super breathable, very comfortable polyester. So you sweat at Jungle Cruise a lot. You're outside just like everywhere else at Disney. So when you sweat, the color of that uniform changes, and it really shows, and that uniform just like sucks up that sweat and is just putting it on display. So that is another thing that is kind of gross, because it's very obvious. I mean, within minutes of working, especially if you're working during the summer, you will start to see, if you wear the hat like the taco crossbody like most of us did, you will start to get lines across your back and across your chest, and for the ladies it runs between the girls, and you have a line of sweat where that presses into you. That's really cute. And then I tend to sweat, and you can see it like on my lower back. So you see these little sweat droplets that have changed the color of the uniform, and I don't know if that's just, I don't like how it feels. Like, I don't like feeling sweaty, and I don't like seeing that I look sweaty, so I'm self-conscious about that. But also, as a guest, if you see a cast member that is just like sweating like a stuck pig, does that like gross you out as a guest? Since I've been a cast member, if I see cast members sweating, it doesn't even faze me. I'm like, oh God, bless, you are so hot. I'm so sorry. Thank you for your work. But I don't know, do people who are visiting that are maybe not used to being quite so sweaty, is that like something that you notice and you're like, oh my, you are very sweaty? Because if that is something, then the Jungle Cruise costume really is unflattering for multiple reasons, but it really shows sweat very badly. So I would actually wear a sweatshirt, and that is not like a hoodie or a jumper or anything like that. I literally would wear a t-shirt or a tank top, like an undershirt, underneath my Jungle Cruise uniform shirt, because then that shirt soaks up all the sweat and it doesn't transfer as easily to my costume shirt, which I realize that sounds even nasty. It's like, hey, I'm wearing a sweat sponge underneath my shirt just so y'all don't have to see it. But I really did. I wore a tank top or a t-shirt or something underneath, and that helped to keep me from having the sweat drip lines down the front and the back and everything, and looking like I just took a dunk in the jungle water. So if that's something that you're self-conscious about, like, you know, you're like, oh, can you see sweat? I don't know. Then if you are working at the Jungle Cruise or any other place that has a light colored costume like that, where sweat is going to change the color, then maybe consider starting to wear an undershirt. See if that helps you. If not, take that off, because Lord knows another layer is probably not going to prevent you from sweating anymore. But just something to keep in mind that I kind of felt was gross, so I tried to fix it when I could. My last one, this is the one I'm really going to focus on, because this is the one that started it all. This was my inspiration for this video, and it is the nastiest thing about working at the Jungle Cruise. And if I was going to go back and do the Jungle Cruise, this is the one that I would have to worry about and work around to try to make myself feel better about. It's the microphones. Hear me out. So you have the microphone and it's attached to the boat, and it's a handheld mic. You have to hold the button down and you have to talk into it like this, just like, you know, like airline flight attendants and stuff like that. It's not, we don't have like earpieces that we can adjust. We don't have clip-on mics or anything fancy like that. It's literally a mic that you pull down, and like, I mean, we're set in 1935, right? So settings. So you hold it right here like this. Well, if you're holding it and you're on the boat, it moves around a lot. So to stabilize it, to make sure that you are consistently heard, a lot of people will take it. Let's use phone, for example. They take it and they set it against their chin. So you hold it right here so that you are consistently talking into it. It's not bouncing all over the place and wavering, so that people can hear you. Also, it's kind of hard to just like hold your hand up. It's easier if you can like balance something on you. So you hold the mic and you hold it against your chin usually. And I did too, because that was easier. What I didn't think about when I started doing that was everyone does that. You don't have a mic that you take with you. There's a mic in the boat and it stays there all day. It is taken out at night and cleaned. I personally have cleaned them. That's part of the closing checklist, is the mics are taken out of the boat and they are wiped down with Lysol wipes, my favorite invention ever. And they're cleaned and sanitized every single night. So it's not that they are like never cleaned and they're super gross, it just in and of themselves. It's the fact that everyone all day is holding this mic right here, talking into it, spitting on it, getting their face oils on it. And that was the gross part, was you could sometimes smell the mic if people had been getting their spittle on it a little bit. It smelled like people's breath, which is gross. And the other thing was, you get face oils on it and then you put it on your face, and like I'm doing here with this situation, you start to break out. So I started noticing that my acne had cleared up. If you haven't watched my video about how my acne had been really bad, I'll link that up there. But my acne cleared up right before I went to Florida to work there, and then I started noticing, I'm like, what is going on? Why am I getting this stuff right here? And it's only right here. What is happening? And it was from the mics. So that was gross. I'm getting other people's face juices all up in my pores and started breaking out along my chin. And so I had to figure out a way to keep that from happening, which my solution was keep one of those Lysol wipes with me and just kind of wipe it off every time I got onto a new boat. So if you are working at the Jungle Cruise and that is something that is of concern to you, or you are acne prone as heck like I am, just grab a Lysol wipe every few boats and just wipe it off, and you should be good. So that's it. Those are my three, really the three only, but the top three nasty things about working specifically at the Jungle Cruise. Like, obviously there's gross things that happen at any job at Disney, and so I haven't talked about those, but maybe I will in a future video, just like gross things that happen when you work at Disney in general. I don't know. let me know if that would be something interesting. But these are things that are specific to Jungle Cruise. So if you are a cast member, present, former, let me know what some of the gross things were about working at your particular position, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, y'all.